Hello there, my name is Christopher Driscoll, and today I will be recording a brief pseudo-lecture for my English 436B class at the University of Victoria. Today I would like to speak on Ian McEwan's 1992 novel Black Dogs. To me, Black Dogs feels stuck between two worlds. The novel, coming out of the cultural period of the 90s, relies on postmodernist ideas of subjective truth, which is the idea that our methods of knowing and acquiring truth are flawed and subjective. Therefore, we are unable to form truth values or study our experiences objectively. In this environment, the only claims of truth we can make are subjective ones. The novel's focal characters, June and Bernard, are shown to be in a complicated struggle between their respective constructed systems of belief. Despite evidence to the contrary, or insight into their opposites' experiences, they still continuously disagree, showing that neither is actually more right than the other, but simply has chosen to construct a narrative about the world around them that cannot be reconciled with the other. Despite exploring postmodernist ideas of truth, much of the novel is set in the years surrounding World War II, a time of high modernism and ideology. What is the answer to the world's problems? June and Bernard both asks. How can we fix our problems? Each of them turn to ideology, to grand narrative, as the Oxford reference defines it. They turn to big stories, which claim to explain everything. For Bernard, this is a belief in political order. For June, this turns out to be a belief in the spiritual self, and the spiritual order. So, how do we reconcile these two influences? McEwan recognizes that truth is subjective, that neither June or Bernard is more right. But McEwan still relies on the character's dependence on structure, on grand narrative in his story. My answer to this idea of whether McEwan's Black Dogs is a modernist or postmodernist novel is that although the novel could be called postmodern, it is not post-structuralist, but rather relies on structural dyads and binaries more commonly found in modernist fiction. To be truly post-structuralist novel, the characters' perspectives would have to be described as unique, isolated subjects within the rhizomatic structure of influences and inspirations. This style can be found in the writings of Thomas Pynchon, Don DeLillo, David Foster Wallace, and many others. These qualities of post-structuralism are almost intrinsically linked with the postmodern. If our existence is solipsistic, if we can only really know ourselves, then our epistemological systems resemble this rhizomatic post-structuralist form. Isolated subjects that connect and influence other isolated subjects in a chaotic, unquantifiable way. Rather than attempt to explore this structure, McEwan focuses on a dyad of opposites that June and Bernard embody: the political versus the spiritual, social organization versus spiritual organization, community love versus self-love. In this way, the novel touches on postmodernist uncertainty and subjective truth, but shies away from the full exploration of its implications, hiding within the limits of and confines of a dyadic structure. These ideas of dyadic structures come from early writings of Roland Barthes and tie into the literary school of structuralism and semiotic theorists. Though in its theory, taking from ideas of postmodernism and using it to challenge the ideas of grand narrative associated with modernism, McEwan's Black Dogs takes on a structuralist form and builds itself around a binary structure instead of attempting to capture the often chaotic subjective structures found in post-structuralist literary forms. So, is the novel postmodern? In its theory, yes, but its structure still relies on modernist conventions. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.